So the last thing that we're going to do on line 71 is we're just going to compare two arrays. So how about if we create another array and set some values? So we'll create another array and set the values. I'm pretty sure that we already have an array called counting. So I'm going to create another array. I'll set it equal to counting 1. I'm pretty sure that it had 5 elements in it, our counting array. And then I am going to initialize it to the same value. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Those should be the same values in there as our original ones. So let's see if we can display them both. So we're going to see out both of them. We'll see out counting. Count, we'll have to put it in a for loop to do that. And then we'll put a space. Actually, how about if we put a tab in there? And then we will see out counting 1. Count. Oops. We're going to have to put this whole entire thing in a for loop. I'm going to tab it in, and I am going to make it shortcut. So I'm not going to have a semicolon, make it a shortcut. We'll put our closing brace in there, see if it's happy, and then I'm just going to run it and see if they both have the same values in them. All right, that's much better. I did have to force an end line after the second print, or after the print of the second array. So if I'm looking at those, they look exactly the same, right? So I put that end line in there, and then we're just going to see if they're the same. So I'm going to see if counting is equal to counting 1. We're just going to see out they are the same. And I'll say else, see out, they are different. And I'll force a new line after these because I don't know what's coming next. So let's force a new line after these. You may notice we're using our shortcut on the if statement too. So the shortcut with no braces works also with if structures. The if is designed to execute one line of code or one instruction. The else also designed to execute one instruction. So if there's only one, I don't need to use the braces. We're going to call it my shortcut. So when I run it, it says that they're different, but I can see from the print statement that they have exactly the same values. So how could they not be the same? So I'm going to ask the question, why aren't they the same? And then for our answer, we're going to see out, how about if we see out counting, and then we will force a space in there. How about if we force a tab? That just gives us a little bit more room. And then we'll see out counting 1. And then we'll force an end line. And I mean, they should be the same, right? Why aren't they the same? So when I just print out the name of the array, I'm getting two very, very different values. Do you remember what the value is? The name of the array. If you said that it was a pointer to the base address in memory, you are absolutely right. And just looking at these two very large hexadecimal values, they are not the same, which means that this is not how I compare arrays, just by comparing the names of the arrays. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to compare them element by element. And so I'm going to use a for loop. How about if actually we use a while loop to do that? So to compare them element by element, there might be a couple of variables that we need. I'm going to create a Boolean variable. I'm going to set it equal to true. And then I need some kind of a loop control variable. We've been calling ours count. I'll set it equal to 0. And we'll use a while loop to do this because it's been a while since we have used a while loop. So I'm going to say while array equals and simultaneously count is less than 5. So if you remember, and this time I am going to need curly braces. If you remember, oh, and that's a singular, not a plural. Array equal is a Boolean variable. It is either true or false. I don't have to compare it to true or false because it is true or false. So what we're going to do inside of here is I'm going to put an if statement that says that if the element in count is not equivalent to the element in counting 1, then I'm going to trip my variable, or I'm going to trip my Boolean variable to false. They're not equal. So we're going to say if count is not equal to, and we got to close that brace, there we go, is not equal to counting 1, count, there we go. Now I've got the too many closing braces. There we go. So my if statement, we're going to do the shortcut because all I want to do inside of here is set it equal to false. So as I'm comparing the element in count to counting 1, if they're not the same, I can already tell you that the arrays are not the same. I am going to have to change the condition inside of a while loop. And the way that we're going to change the condition is we're just going to increment count. So I'm going to increment my counter variable. And then once we're done, we're going to run this statement again. This time I want to say if array equal, we are going to see out, they are the same. And then we'll do else. Let me scroll this down a little bit more. See out, they're the same. And then I'll force a new line inside of here. Not count. See out. There you go. See out. They are different. We'll force a new line inside of there. All right, so now I have moved through the array element by element to determine if the elements are the same. The elements, that's what I wanted to know, right? And then I'm going to use that Boolean variable to determine whether or not they are the same. And now I can see that they are the same. And when I say equal, what I'm talking about is, are all of the elements the same? So this is one of the ways that you can compare the elements of an array.